Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the final figure, to some extent, the final build figure that was included in the Marvel Legends Infinite series. We've been obviously building him through the course of these videos, and now we're going to be having a look at the fully constructed Ultimate Green Goblin. I would have, of course, start this video by saying this is not really my definitive Green Goblin. I'm still a purist, and I like the Green Goblin on his little goblin glider and, the ridiculous little hat and the little pointy shoes. But to me, that is Green Goblin. This figure, as impressive as he might look, I kind of take with a grain of salt. He is a gorgeous looking figure, and overall he's put together extremely well, but part of me just kind of wishes that he was just regular Green Goblin. Now, we've already got Green Goblin out of the yin yang. We've gotten Green Goblin with Marvel Select figures. We've gotten a couple of Green Goblins through the Marvel Legends Toy Biz line. So really, I don't know you can necessarily say we need another Green Goblin. So for that reason, getting him in an Ultimate version as the monster Green Goblin is obviously a more accepted format for getting this character. On a sculpt level and overall how he was made, he looks good. He's kind of got a Hulk-esque look to him with the ripped pants, and where he's made basically just a mutation of the Green Goblin. And he's got these spikes up at the top and the shoulders, and he's got, of course, the crown on his... he's got sculpting on the crown of his head. He's got some horns, and he's got some big claws for gashing and ripping flesh. Now, you'll see on the side, he does come with a couple of flame attachments. These flame attachments that you saw in the other reviews can just unpeg. It's basically just like a little ring, you see right there, and that clamps onto the side arms of Green Goblin. They stay there relatively well. They don't flop around too much. The other thing that was left off the figure is the mane, which was also included when we got the head. And between all of that, you get yourself a fully completed Green Goblin. I can't knock it for the fact that it's not the classic Green Goblin, because I'm sure I don't want to continue to sound like a broken record. Oh, he doesn't sound like the old Green Goblin. He doesn't look like the old Green Goblin. But you know what? As it goes now, he is a good-looking figure. If I look at it just strictly as a sculpt level, he's a good-looking figure. His face is pretty impressive. I think they did a good job on his face. It's got that sinister, and I keep using the comparison that he looks a lot like Doomsday. A customizer out there, and I'm surprised one customizer has not done this yet, but taken this figure and just filed down the horns, turned him into Doomsday. But he definitely has almost a combination of Hulk, Abomination, and Doomsday kind of all amalgamated into one. That's kind of what I get the vibe with this figure. His torso, the only thing I don't really like is that his torso, which was light, incredibly light to start off with. I remember it being a very light piece. It's got a sheen to it. The sheen doesn't really carry on anywhere else on the rest of the figure. He does have a little bit on the bicep, but nothing really in the leg. He's got this really shiny torso, and I wish this had been more of a matte surface, a matte finish, than it being as shiny as it was. Also, this fire attachment, as you can see, comes off extremely easy. I would say it's a shame that it doesn't peg into place, but then you would just have this hole here. Maybe it would be nice not to have the hole. But the fire is a nice touch. This translucent plastic, painted in this nice yellow. There's a little bit of orange there as well. But definitely a nice touch on the fire. Articulation on Green Goblin, well, he does have the ball joint in the head. Only really the ball joint, so you're not going to get a lot of movement. The head really only goes as far up as there. It won't go any further up. It does rotate left and right, though. He has the hinge socket shoulders, so they rotate out, back and forth. He has a rotation in the bicep. Still the double bend at the elbow, right around these really nice sculpted spikes in the arms there. He's got a hinge hand, which actually the hand will bend out back and forth. He has the, just take this mane off. It fell off anyways, we'll just take it off. He does have a rotation in the torso. It does bend up and down. Not a lot, though. And he does have no articulation in the lower waist, from what I can see. It just is probably because this is already articulated. They didn't feel the need to articulate this section either. The legs. Now, the legs are one of the... Not a big fan of these kind of legs, but they hinge out, and then you kind of rotate it to hinge the leg any other way. It can become a little problematic, kind of a pain, but he does have a rotation in the thigh, double bend at the knee, and when you bend the knee, you can kind of see really where all this nice shredded pants. I like how this is just a separate piece. Just gives it a sense of depth. And then the leg is on the foot is on a hinge, and also you can bend it up and down. Now what I mentioned is he does have peg holes on the undersides of his feet, though he does not come with any base. No display base for Green Goblin. As it goes, he's a good size. By comparison to some of the other recent Marvel Legends lines, where you get a Build-A-Figure that's about this big. You know, Hit Monkey was what, like this big? Rocket Raccoon was like this big. At least I feel like I've done something. I feel like while I really haven't done much aside from picking up the figures, I feel like I myself over here has accomplished something by building at least an impressive looking figure. By its very scale comparison, I'm just going to bring in the Superior Spider-Man, and you can see how much taller he is than Spider-Man himself. So I like that. I like that a lot. And while I don't, again, like the fact that it's not classic Green Goblin, I still have to appreciate the work and care that they've been put into the figure. I like the fire attachments. The fire on the back is a nice touch. The sculpting on the shoulders, the sculpting on the face. Overall, you get a good-sized figure. And while the torso wasn't light, or was very light to start off with, once you start adding all the other appendages, the legs, the arms, the head, you end up getting not a heavy figure, but at least a figure that you feel it. You can feel that there's some substantialness to it. It doesn't feel like completely flimsy. Green Goblin on its own, I'm going to give the Green Goblin here an 8.5. Pretty good work for a Build-A-Figure. Having then a look at the figures that we've already kind of covered off on, as we normally kind of do on this channel, Spot just wants to talk about is the favorite figures from this set. I think my favorite figure is probably going to be, I'm just reaching off to my black hole, is probably going to be Carnage. I'm just going to put Carnage right here. Carnage is by far my favorite figure from this set. Tied with Green Goblin, or with Carnage, or tied for second, I should say, I really liked Black Cat. Black Cat was an impressive figure, but I also really liked Spider-Man. You know what? I might even have to give this one to Black Cat as my favorite figure from this wave, which I guess by default makes Spider-Man my third favorite from this set. Rounding out, I would say Superior Spider-Man was probably my next favorite, and down at the bottom of the list, I would say Electro and probably the Beetle. Beetle definitely by far is my least favorite from this set. As a whole, though, was really impressed with the Marvel Legends Infinite series, The Amazing Spider-Man wave. To get finally a new version of The Amazing Spider-Man in a Marvel Legends style, I really like it. The Carnage wowed me. The Black Cat, phenomenal figure. And even like the Superior Spider-Man, even though I guess we're not going to have Superior Spider-Man anymore, really nice looking figure. Electro wasn't bad, but the design as a whole on him, I still kind of like the more classic look characters, and definitely the Beetle. I'm not even going to include him in this video. I just want to forget all about him. But there you go, guys. There is the final video. We're having a look today at the Green Goblin, and we're also having a look at the figures that made up the Infinite Heroes, the Infinite Series, Amazing Spider-Man set. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you guys have had a chance to pick this up and your overall thoughts, what your favorite figures maybe are from this set. And certainly stay tuned, guys. Spot's got more toy spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.